esports fans are living in an era of heroes.
There's Cold. Oh, what? Jumping double for Cold! What is going on right now? How does he do this?
The earliest trailblazers in these games didn't have many role models, and playing video games professionally was a far-fetched dream.
They were the pioneers, so to speak, right? And they had no one. They were laughed at, looked at weird, had shitty-ass salaries, low salaries, and pretty bad marketing and branding. And we can look up to these people.
But a new generation of players who grew up in a world where full-time esports was already within reach are among us.
Since I was 12, 13, my plan was to be an esports athlete.
And as new games enter the esports arena, some of those players have become their biggest stars, seizing the opportunity to get in on the ground floor and build a competitive legacy.
Bit of damage, just scaring them off. Jumps in for one, and Gohan will go down. No more IQ. Experience the second Astro down on the floor. Moringa, are you ready for this? Yes! Pengu, are you kidding me? With a third getting taken down. And the drop right below. And the third to the face. Pengu!
Nicholas Pengu Moritzen caught the esports fever and knew he had to work harder than everyone else if he wanted to live that dream. In his teens, he tried to break into the hottest games at the time.
I looked up to League of Legends specifically, Bjergsen from now currently TSM, Copenhagen Wolves back then. You know, I've been following the league scene ever since it came around, and I wanted what they had.
And then, when Rainbow Six Siege came out, he grabbed hold of his destiny.
I actually just reached my 10,000th hour, total across those almost 3 years, and that is the current record for any pro player, and possibly also for any casual player out there.
This is his story. Nicholas Pengu Moritzen was born in Denmark in 1997 and was interested in video games at a young age. He loved Warcraft 3 and even learned English from playing World of Warcraft when he was 7, before moving on to Counter-Strike and eventually League of Legends.
Video games has been my childhood. That's been my saving grace, kept me with the right friends, the right area. So from the age of 4, I got my own computer.
But through it all, he developed a fascination with an idea that seemed far-fetched at the time: becoming a professional esports athlete. Once he decided to pursue esports greatness, he wasted no time at choosing a quirky handle.
At one point I was like, okay, we gotta go pro, pick a name, stick with it, and be proud of it, right? What are you proud of? Favorite color? Favorite animal? Blue penguin. Spelled B-L-O-U, because B-L-U-E was taken, because that's too common.
Without a father in the picture, Pengu's mother resolved to support her son in whatever he chose to do. His attempts to play League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm professionally didn't work out, though he did play in some qualifiers for major events. But it wasn't long before one of his friends introduced him to a brand new title: Rainbow Six Siege.
My best friend showed me the E3 trailer, and it was a tactical shooter game, whereas Counter-Strike didn't really appeal to me much because it's a lot like TDM style, Call of Duty style, fragging buys. The E3 trailer, you come down and rappel from a helicopter, you rappel on the walls, you can hop breach windows, you got all these hostages and tactical angles. That approach was really appealing to me.
And Siege provided Pengu with an opportunity that those other games couldn't: the ability to get in at the beginning.
I read a random forum post stating my name, my age, my dedication. I think the title specifically, looking to go pro or at least to the top. One guy responded called Aiga, and from Czech. We made a team with me, him, 3 German players. We went pro. So December 1st, 2015, the game came out. December 25th, I joined the team called R3X that then became Penta Sports in January 16.
His mother supported him as he tried to turn pro, and gave him 6 months to do so as long as he continued to pay rent. And after he joined Penta Sports in February 2016, he had to shorten his handle and decided on Pengu.
My name was supposed to be Penta-Blue Penguin, which is too many characters. Had to shorten it, made it Penta Pengu rather than Penta Blue.
After winning the Pro League Year 1 Season 1's group stage with Penta, he returned home to a realization: he didn't want to do anything else.
I got home Sunday. Monday morning we have breakfast together, and the most depressing looking person ever eating my toast, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, I just had this amazing experience, feeling my career out. Now I'm about to wake up at 7:30 a.m. for something I don't want to do, for a course I don't feel like has a purpose, for a study that I don't really like.
Missing school meant that Pengu was eventually kicked out because of his poor attendance record, but he quickly showed that the tough decision was worthwhile. Penta won the Pro League Year 1 Season 1 finals, and Pengu took home $5,000, the most money he had ever made. Not only did that prize money prove that he had what it took to make it as a pro, but it also led to more independence and a greater opportunity to pursue the dream. As he started to stream, Pengu became known another way in the Rainbow Six community, as an entertainer.
What? Oh no! Oh no!
What are you doing?
I'm killing everybody! I'm just flicking. I'm sorry, dude! I'm running, dudes! I'm running everywhere!
In terms of his competitive career, though, there was just one problem.
I was probably the worst Pro League player in FPS game ever because I came from League of Legends. I had no experience. So I invented my own playstyle that relied around anything but FPS games. I would hold an angle, play off reaction time, I'm young, and it worked. Whereas most people, they would play off aiming and accuracy. As the game went on, there was a character called Blackbeard that came out in Year 1 Season 2 that had a face shield, which meant you couldn't kill him with headshots. And I was like, oh, I'm a terrible player. I'm gonna pick up this extremely overpowered character and I'm gonna use it as a handicap until I learn how to play the game properly. So in professional play, I was playing Blackbeard only to mask the fact that I was terrible at the game. And in my spare time, I was grinding 10, 12 hours a day with anything but Blackbeard to like catch up on the mechanics that I was bad at.
But while he initially focused on supporting his team, Pengu's aim steadily improved, and it helped them amass competitive success.
Really giving Penta info. Almost Pengu there getting the revenge.
There we go.
Here we go. Gets one. Springs the second Pengu.
Poseidon now is going to try to rush on over here. He's going for the kill. It doesn't work out, and Pengu now knows exactly where he's at. He's going to get the first kill. He's going for the Deagle kill. Can he get it? He does get the Deagle kill! Pengu dropping the clutch right there as Poseidon will fall.
Oh, here we go. Speaking of Pengu, should be
going.
Ooh, almost getting the kill there. Just a bit of damage, just scaring them off. Jump in for one, and Gohan will go down. No more IQ. Experience the second Astro down the floor. Moringa, are you ready for this? Yes! Pengu, are you kidding me with a third getting taken down? And the drop right below, and a third in the face! Pengu!
By late 2017, the Pentasports roster had amassed some major competitive victories. The roster had a 4-player core of Goga, Fabian, Eunice, and Pengu, and added Shatta in December 2017. It was a group of players from a number of European countries, all of whom were speaking English. But while many considered them one of the world's best rosters, they would finally have a chance to prove it at the game's biggest competition yet. The Six Invitational 2018 offered a $500,000 prize pool, but more than that, it was a chance for redemption. Penta had failed to qualify for the event in 2017, falling second to Euronics Gaming in the EU qualifier.
Sai will take Snookin out afterwards. Pengu's inside now and has the diffuser, but secretly shotguns him down. Sai versus Renewals. It is a 1v1. Smoke inside with a shotgun.
It doesn't get
there,
it!
but it doesn't matter. There's no time. And with that, Euronics are going to Montreal in a month's time.
Now Pengu had the opportunity to prove that this new roster was the best team in the world. As he continued to grow in both popularity and skill, it was obvious that Pengu was becoming one of the game's biggest stars. But with that spotlight came other challenges.
I gotta call out one guy's closet. That's meant for me, because I can kill that guy, right?
Alright, yeah, listen, it's okay, man, my fault. It's okay.
Thank
Let's
you.
drop
There
it.
you go.
Let's
Back
drop
down,
it.
you
No,
fucking
let's
beta
drop
cock.
it. Let's drop it.
You're a
Let's drop it.
beta,
I'm-
dude.
I'm
You're a
just-
fucking
I don't
beta.
I don't want to waste my
No,
time
because you
on
can't win the argument. That's why I don't want to fight it out, of course. There's a back
No,
up. We can
'cause it's
play again.
impossible. It's literally impossible to argue with you, man.
Because you're wrong. It's hard to argue when you're wrong.
Opinionated and confident, Pengu became known for controversial opinions and the occasional angry outburst.
Yep. Why do you always play like a pussy in these 1v1s? Coming from being a cocky 18-year-old dropout with no social experience due to playing too many video games, and then you get a voice, you know, a fans, a group of people that listens to you when they shouldn't as well. it was hard to learn because I grew so fast. We were the fastest growing team in the world at the time in year 2, and it went way too fast to come through.
Often the most popular streamer in the Rainbow Six category, he was a first point of contact for prospective players. He and all mention of Penta were removed from an Ubisoft article previewing the Six Invitational 2018. Ubisoft even approached him and told him that they might have to take disciplinary action for next season.
It was my darkest place in my career because I was in such a bad spot with Ubisoft, with fans, with pro players, with Twitter, with drama, with sponsors, with organizations. My girlfriend broke up with me, or we split it like at the tournament. Everything fell apart. And I had this reality check where Ubisoft came in and said, we might disqualify you next year. We might just, after this event, you're done. And I was like, that's my career. That's what I worked for. It's what I've, had that I wanted. I got it, and I'm about to lose it. I look behind me, my teammates, and they look at me like my enemies would look at me, right? Because if I get disqualified, they get disqualified. I'm ruining their careers.
At the Invitational, Penta went 2-0 in groups, defeating both Team Vitality and NA favorites Evil Geniuses. That second result alone seemed to reinforce the opinion that Penta were the odds-on favorites. And as they made a dominant run through the bracket, there was little reason to doubt them.
The very first game on stage was against ENS. We ended up taking the victory 2-0. And then the semi-final was against Black Dragons. And that was our redemption fight right there. Ended up taking that victory as well. At that point, we're really, really happy.
And in the grand finals, it was the matchup that many had wanted. The best of Europe against NA's brightest stars, Evil Geniuses.
We figure out later that day that we actually play EG in the final. So we're kind of, with a red line, we're kind of back to where we started. We're up against EG, just like in group stage. We played each other before, meaning that we knew how each other played. And it was a best of 5.
Across from Pengu was Troy-Canadian Jaroslawski, who had won the Invitational that Pengu had been forced to sit out.
I loved EG. I fell in love with CTM, as they're called before. I loved Troy. He was like my idol. He won IGL. He was featured in the documentary. I was like, I wanna be that. I wanna be that guy. And then we faced them at Invitationals, and I was like, if we beat them, that's gonna shift. I can become that person by beating them, but at the same time, I get to fight the best team in the world at the time, the 2 Titans. We won every Pro League season, except for Brazil. They won the previous Invitationals. They had the most success. They had the previous title. And we're in a best of 5 final for the first time ever, biggest stage, and that was facing Troy. That was the only thing I wanted.
That had kind of been like a matchup that really, there was a lot of build up to it because we had won 2 titles previously when we were under Continuum in year 1, season 3, and then the previous Invitational. And then Penta had been the only other team to win multiple titles. And that's still the case. We're still the only 2 teams that have won multiple titles.
But the best of 5 matchup was far different from groups. Evil Geniuses took the first map easily.
Taken down by BC, who goes for the double and gets it! Eunice eliminated, and Evil Geniuses take their first round of the series.
The next map was more of a struggle, but EG would once again emerge victorious, putting Penta in an early 0-2 hole.
Necroc still uncontested! EG! 1 map away from the championship!
To be honest, I've said this and joked about this, I think I was happier when we went up 2-0 than when I won the first Invitational. I was just screaming, one more map, one more map.
Fabian's standing there screaming what the fuck are we doing? We're so terrible, we can do better. Do you guys want to fucking lose? I don't want to fucking lose. We're going to go out there and win now, right? It kind of brought out everybody's frustrations. We kind of yelled at each other. We got everything out, you did this, you did that, I fuck that, I hate you, whichever. And then he said the whole first I don't want to lose, do you? And I think it just clicked, no, we don't want to lose, right? We're here to win. And we went out, when an animal is trapped up against the wall, that's when it's the scariest, because it's a fight. It cannot flee anymore.
It was on the 3rd map, Cafe, where the tide turned.
They pulled out this Montaigne strategy that we had never seen before, and basically completely destroyed us because we had no idea how to react to it.
Canadian once again in a situation where he will need to clutch. It's a 1v4, taken down to next to no health. He'll take Goga, but he now has a shield in his way. Very difficult with only 1. Be able to eliminate a Monte, but Penta takes their first map.
Then Penta even the series with a win on Bank.
It's 2 versus 4. Eunice from deep inside of the server stairs will get BC. Young responds onto Pengu. There's only one defender left to deny this, and it's not going to happen. Penta win. Bank put it onto the final map of this best of 5.
And at the end, on Coastline, Pengu found himself on the wrong side of a 2v1 and made history.
Two of the best known players on that team. Their captain submission, Fragger, Fabian down, it's Pengu, the Ash just waiting, or rather the Hibana just waiting. They'll look to push together. Diffuser in a position where they'll have to see when the Hibana goes through. One will cover the doorway. As they start to defuse, Pengu goes for one on the Young. Can he go the second? They're often known as the best team in the world, never having that distinction until today. Penta are your world champions. The second invitational.
The Six Invitational 2018 was a formative moment for Pengu. Highs and lows combined to make a potent turning point in his approach to being a pro player. The proposed ban never came. Pengu has internalized the impact his actions can have, not just on this generation of fans, but everyone. That doesn't mean that he's lost the opinions he was known for, more that he tries to be as constructive as possible in communicating them. During Year 3, the team won the European Pro League Finals and came second to the surging Brazilian Team Liquid at the Global Finals. As they continued the strong play they had become known for, Pengu's team was acquired by G2 Esports.
I wanted G2. I wanted something to be proud of to represent and to say that now we have visually made it. Not statistically, not prizeable money-wise trophies. No, we have a name, a brand. We are international. We're on a bigger scene now.
And Pengu has begun to immortalize his career in a tattoo. His achievements literally inscribed on his body.
So it started with the Smoke character. So this is Smoke from the game, from the SAS squad. SAS emblem is down here. With the Hound headgear, it's a uniform in the game that was only purchasable by Poly players. It was gifted to us. It's like a beta testing. Has smoke coming out from the smoke canisters as his gadget. Obviously, we had the Six Invitationals logo representing the victory, the memories, the hardships. Then we got my own personal brand, which is the Pengu brand. Stuff I do for merch, for my wallpaper, etc., for merchandising, for sponsoring. And then we have kind of everything together. So it's a goofy, cartoony penguin with this siege sledgehammer. That's the trophy of Invitationals. We have 3 skulls, each representing each Pro League victory. So Year 1 Season 1, Year 2 Season 1, and Year 2 Season 2. And then I would like to integrate Penta and G2 as like a start and like where we're at now to remember that. And obviously we gotta add the Paris Major. So we're gonna keep building up till about the bicep, and then once I start working out, we can maybe keep going up. But we gotta work on it first.
With another win over EG at the Paris Major, this time a very definitive 3-0, Pengu has once again climbed to the very top of Siege competition. But this time, unlike the last, he more fully understands the stakes. He isn't one of the esports pioneers. Others walk that path first. But someday, to some aspiring esports pro, he might become their role model.
Thanks for watching. If you want more great content just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button.